All right, all right, all right. I think we're live. Hold on a second. Got to make sure the audio is coming through. Make sure everybody can hear me. And yep, it looks like we're good. Welcome everybody. It's Saturday night. It's time for the Misfit Corner Scams live stream. That was for the studio applause, which obviously there is none, but go crazy. How's it going, Manuel? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you coming by. Nigel Bloom, good evening. How are you? Very good, very good. Manuel says, good evening, Drew, my good friend. Happy Saturday night. Absolutely. It's a fantastic Saturday. I will tell you that Saturday started off on the wrong foot in the fact that I was having issues with my computer last night and required me to do a reboot, turn off the computer and turn everything back on. And I usually get up in plenty of time in the morning, usually between 7 and 8 in the morning. Weekdays, usually 6 and 7. Plenty of time to post today's video. Already had it done. It was in the bag. It was ready to go. It had been compressed. All I had to do was post it, schedule it, and walk away. Well, for some reason, nothing really wanted to work right this morning. And I either could sit around trying to deal with it, or I could get out of the house and get my job done, get to work and get all that stuff done. So I actually did not post a video this morning, which some of you may already know. So there was no video this morning, which shame on me. It's not something I like to have happen, but it happens. Matter of fact, I have to tell you guys, last Saturday during my live stream, I kept talking about a video that was supposed to go up on Sunday, in which I had a great time screwing around with the guy, and there was some revealing stuff that was said, and it was just a really good video. And then Sunday came and went, and then Monday, I had my video ready for Monday, and I went to go schedule it for Monday, and there was no video for Sunday. I completely forgot. I got the video done and forgot to post it. I forgot to schedule it. So this is literally 2 times in 1 week in which I screwed up and either did not post a video when I was supposed to, or had technical issues and could not post when I was supposed to. Guys, my goal is always at least 1 video a day, and I am dropping the ball mega times. I went ahead, by the time I got home from work and got everything set up, got dinner ready, had dinner, did all the things I needed to do. It was almost 8 o'clock. And I'm like, screw it. So I was able to upload the video and schedule it for tomorrow. But I will double up tomorrow. I will have 2 videos tomorrow, probably one at 10, which is my normal time, 10 Eastern time. And then another one probably either scheduled for either noon or 2 o'clock. So you guys will get a double dose of Moa tomorrow. Yay! It's going to make some people go running for the hills, but trust me, I won't make it a everyday thing, I promise. So let me just check in on the chat, see how things are going. Hooked on the Classic says, good morning. Morning. Welcome to the show. Nigel said, I saw your YouTube comment. Yep. I do not know if it was a me thing or a YouTube thing. I still don't know. I sent YouTube a notice that I was having an issue. Never heard anything back. And by the time I got back home and went to go post it, it posted just fine. It's scheduled just fine. So I'm not sure if it was a YouTube hiccup or me. I tend to always blame. Yeah, I always, if there's a problem with technology, it's usually me. But anyway, it's good to go. And you guys might find this funny. The call that was supposed to go up today that's actually going up tomorrow is actually a follow-up from a call that I posted a little while ago. And the guy was calling, claiming to be from Spectrum. And he said, do you remember talking to me? And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. No problem. I remember talking to you. That was earlier this week, right? No problem. No problem. And he was the one that called and on multiple times asked for my credit card information in order to send me a new box. And I kept giving him fake numbers and he couldn't get it to go through. And at the end of the call, he said, well, I'll follow back up with you if it doesn't go through. And this was actually him following back up, which was fantastic. And then I went to go look because I swore that video was recent. Turns out it was from September 10th, almost a month ago. So when I told him, oh, yeah, I talked to you earlier this week, that wasn't true. It was over a month ago. But I got to screw with him some more. And, I love it when that happens. So hopefully you guys will find the call enjoyable. Actually, there was 2 calls that I combined together. The first time he called, I was actually out driving. So I told him, call me back. And he did call me back when I got back at home. So the first part of the call is just the audio, me on camera, but just the audio of the call. And then the second one is when he called back and I actually talked to him. But hey, I love it when scammers follow back up with you. I love it. It's like, let's waste more of their time. Yeah. And I felt bad for this guy because, I kind of did feel a little guilty wasting his time. Actually, the title of the video, because you guys know I can go off topic here all the time, but the title of the video is I should feel guilty for wasting this guy's time, but he called me, which is true. So obviously he needed his time wasted, and I'm the guy for it. All right, let me see what else is going on here. Hooked on the Classic says, sorry, I haven't been here in ages. That's okay. You're more than welcome back anytime. I am trying very hard to stick to my Saturday 8:00 schedule for this live stream. And I'll tell you, I have 2 other channels. I have my comics channel and my drawing channel. And the comics channel, I do live streams Friday night. And the draw channel, I try to do the live streams on Wednesday night. Those I'm extremely flexible with. If I'm too tired one Wednesday, I'll just skip it. But for this show, this one, I'm committed to making it happen, mainly because I get so much interaction with you guys. And I don't want to disappoint you guys. I want to talk to you guys. I want to get, hear what you have to say and get input. And I get a lot of good feedback from everybody. And I appreciate the heck out of it. So just so you all know, Hooked on Classics, I love it when you come by and I appreciate it thoroughly. But I'm going to maintain Saturday 8:00 as my scam channel live stream. You guys are welcome anytime, and I appreciate you being here. All right, let's see what else is going on. Manuel says, "No, Drew, it is no good. You are fire." Oh, okay. I appreciate it. There's many people out there that would say I'm not fire, but that's okay. Oh, Rosemary's here. Hey, Rosemary. Best wishes to you as well. Welcome to the show. Rosie's here. Hey, Rosie. Hello, everybody. Virtual hug from Rosie. Excellent. Oh, Avery's here. Let me bring him in real quick. What's up, good sir?
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm just catching up on the chat real quick. Give me just 1 second. Nigel says Spectrum 99% Lahore, Pakistan. I can believe that. I don't know locations very well in Pakistan or India or any of those places, but if you tell me it is, I tend to believe you, just simply because I don't know. But the Spectrum calls. Oh, actually, no. It wasn't the Spectrum call today. I got it was a credit card scam call I got today. Avery, I had so much fun with this guy. I had when the call initially came in, there was nobody in the store. So I'm walking around the store just talking to this guy, screwing with him. And then eventually people started coming in and people started listening to the call and they were laughing in the background because I'm just really jerking this guy off. But at the beginning of the call, that's not what I meant to say. That's not what I meant to say. I was wasting his time. Okay. Shut up.
Okay.
Don't say nothing because you know how bad I am with the English language. So shut up.
What? Yeah, your native tongue. You're terrible.
Shut up. Let me finish the story.
Okay.
At one point, I said something along the lines of, it's Saturday afternoon. And he goes, it's not Saturday. And I'm like, yeah, it is. I said, wait a minute. Where are you calling from? What time zone are you in where it's not Saturday? And he goes, I'm in the central time zone. I said, okay, that means you're a couple hours behind me. It's still Saturday. And
Still
he's like,
Saturday.
he said, no, it's Friday. And I said, no, it's not. He was confused and it was sad. And I messed with him for a good 25 minutes on the phone. I just had such a great he seemed like he was pretty new. And I love taking advantage of those guys and wasting their time. So
Yeah, the only thing I know about Pakistan is some of the interesting guerrilla style gunsmithing that goes on in that part of the world. And they do some weird stuff.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
Some of it's very cursed looking. It's like, and you're like,
oh, really?
Is that, yeah, and you're like, does that thing function? And if it does, how many times before it explodes?
Now, question for you. Is that something you would try to own, is a Pakistani made gun?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I would be I would be absolutely terrified. Because once you've seen some of the cursed stuff they do, of mashing things together that should not be mashed together, yet they do it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. All right, let me get back to the chat. See what else is going on here. So hold on. Manuel says, "Good evening, Miss Rosemary." Says hello to Rosemary. He also says, "Good evening" to Rosie. Rosie says, "Hi to Manuel. Lovely to see you again. Hope you had a great week." Absolutely. I don't know about you, but this was a long week.
Oh, no,
it was a long week.
Pretty quick for me.
Oh, yeah? Manuel laughs. Ha, ha, ha. Nigel says, I speak Punjabi, Urdu, Hindi, and Bengali. Nice. I often will answer the call, and the people who are on the line don't realize somebody's there and they're talking in a foreign language. And I'm always curious if anybody listens to that and knows what they're saying. And I'm fairly certain they're saying something like, hey, what time are you going on lunch break or something like that. But you never know. They might be revealing super secrets about the scam call centers. I doubt it, but I'm always curious. So you never know. Rosemary says, best wishes always. Absolutely. Thank you, ma'am. Nigel says, credit card is Karachi, Pakistan. Oh, really? Okay. Manuel says, I watch News 10. It is you. I live in New Libya. Is that Lberia or Iber? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Louisiana, which I knew that. For the $8,000 from Microsoft. Yes. Don't ever trust those Microsoft callers that are offering you money, you know?
Yeah. Bill Gates ain't giving you shit.
That's right. Nigel says, yes, true. Manuel says, interview this lady from New Iberia, Louisiana about scammers. Really? Okay. And Nigel says, I make notes. Oh, okay. Excellent. I always wanted to learn. Let me correct that. When I had the opportunity in high school to learn a foreign language, I kind of screwed around and didn't learn anything. Later in life, I wish I had learned a foreign language. You know, to be able to hear somebody talking and know what was going on, what they were saying. And I took Latin. I don't know about you, but there's nobody out there speaking Latin.
Yes, you took a dead language.
I took a dead language, and it was, and believe it or not, it was supposed to help me with my vocabulary and my grammar. It didn't work.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Nerd.
Oh, let me see who else is here. Mary Linda says, good evening. It is bad that I have an addiction to answer all scam calls. Just can't help myself. I've got the same addiction. And not only do I have to answer them all, if I miss one, I feel I'm like crushed. I'm so crushed. Yes, I'm upset.
So weird.
I know. Because Avery, you have to realize that one you missed, that was your one good one for the day.
That could have been the one.
That could have
been the one that really goes viral.
It's absolutely true. That's why I don't like to miss them. So
actually, that could have been the one.
Actually, I got like 4 or 5 today while I was at the store, which is unusual because they normally don't call on Saturday. I get very few on Saturday, but this Saturday, I had a credit card one. I had a
Yeah.
Medicare one. I had a funeral expense one. I just the normal stuff, but they were working on a Saturday, which I find so unusual. Oh,
Wow.
hold on just one quick second. Hey, buddy, do you need to go outside? Come here. Come here.
It's
Go
the
on out.
Doge.
It's the dog. It's the puppy. My wife and my daughter are in Orlando this weekend for a bridal shower. Not a bridal shower, a bridal convention, bridal show.
A bridal show?
Yeah, yeah. And he usually hangs out with my wife while I'm doing this. And this evening, since she's not here, he was under my desk. So he decided he needed to go for a walk. So I let him go do that.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to hear something funny? I told you the story.
Okay.
About the young lady at the comic book store, right?
Yes.
All right. I did not tell the story.
Terrified.
I've gotten more confirmation that I did it completely wrong.
Yes.
To make a long story short, guys, I'm not a creep. I'm not a psychopath. I'm not a stalker
But
of
I am.
young women. I'm not somebody who shut up. I'm not somebody who purposely tries to make other people uncomfortable.
But I do.
But it happens all the damn time.
Yes.
So my wife and I are at our local comic book store, and there's a young lady behind the counter ringing up the guy in front of us as purchase. And the guy's just chit-chatting with her, just having a normal conversation. And he asks her a question. He says, "By the way, I forgot what your name is." And she tells him her name. And it is a very unique name. And it just so happens it's our daughter's name. Our daughter's named the same thing. And it made me remember that many, 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 many moons ago, in my parents' neighborhood, when we were out trick-or-treating when my daughter was much younger, probably 3 or 4 years old, we ran into a lady who had a daughter who also had the same name as our daughter. And it's a unique name, so it's not one it's very common. And we noted that, wow, there's somebody with the same name as our daughter in this neighborhood. I mean, that's great. And the first thought that went through my head was, this young lady could have been that child that we met 25 years ago, And so when we get up to the register, I say to her, and you also have to remember, I'm standing right next to my wife. My wife's right with me. So had I been by myself, this whole entire situation would have been even more creepy. Okay. And I ask her, I said, "Hey, I got a question for you, a personal question for you. And you do not have to answer it if you don't want to. But were you born here in this town?" And she looked at me and she's like, "This is freaking freaky." And she goes, "I don't know if I want to answer that." I said, "That's fine. That's fine. That's not a problem. Let me tell you why." And so I told her the story about 25 years ago or so, trick-or-treating and meeting somebody who had the same name as my daughter. And she calmed down and she was okay with it. And we started talking more about it. Come to find out that she was named after the same character that my wife named our daughter from. So they had that in common. The spelling was the same, which there's alternate spellings of the name, but she had the same spelling. And then she told us how old she was. She was about 7 years off from the person we were thinking she might be. So there's no way in hell this young lady was the person we were looking for. And it was an interesting conversation. Had it been the same person, it would have been even better. But as we left on a very happy note. The lady thanked us and we thanked her and we left. And we're walking out to the car and my wife says to me, says, "You do realize how really bad that looked when you asked her that first question?" And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, "You're like a 50-year-old man creeping on this young lady, asking her where she was born and stuff. And you're just so weird." And I'm like, but I had a valid reason for doing it. I mean, there was a story.
Pervert.
There was a story there.
Degenerate.
Well, needless to say, I talked to my daughter today.
Yes.
And told her the whole story. She gave me a hug, one of those, "Oh my God, Dad, you're so broken."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Next time that happens, start with the story. Don't ask the question." I'm like, okay, but
Yeah, start with, oh wow, my daughter has the same name with this, named after the character, blah blah blah. Wow.
Avery,
What?
I'm a freaking idiot.
No shit.
Because my daughter's first reaction was, "Oh my God, Dad, you're a creep. Please don't do that to young ladies anymore." And I'm like, honey, the story makes perfect sense.
I just wanted to wear her skin.
the question makes perfect sense in context with the story. But the question by itself, without the story, was creepy as hell. And
Yeah.
I told my brother-in-law this story as well, and that's when he brought up, "Hey, are you watching that Jeffrey Dahmer thing on Netflix?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Why?" He says, "Because you're sounding really like Jeffrey Dahmer, crazy."
Yeah. No, that was much more Buffalo Bill.
Oh God, you're right.
What are you, about a size 12?
So needless
horses.
needless to say, I'm not allowed to talk to people anymore.
No.
And all my friends who know me are supposed to just roll their eyes and ignore the fact that I'm as stupid
You're
and
not
weird as
allowed to
I am.
talk to a woman under the age of 35 ever.
You're probably right.
Just as
You're
a
probably
general rule, don't
absolutely
even
right.
speak. I don't even care if it's the cashier at their supermarket and she says, "Hello, sir," just nod. Just be like,
Why do you think I go through the self-checkout? So I
"Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have to talk to people.
yeah."
We have literally if you think about it, Avery, stop and think about this for just a second. The typical conversations I have on a daily basis
Uh-huh.
are either with my wife,
Mhm.
with people from work who I've only ever met once or twice in 4 years. I see them on the computer, that's it, and scammers.
Yeah.
That's the only people I have conversations with on a daily basis. I avoid I go through the drive-through to get food, and I barely ever talk to people. I say hi, give them my money, and I leave.
Yeah.
When I go and get breakfast in the morning, I go to the kiosk. The only
Yeah.
thing I say to the lady who gives me my food is "Thank you." That's
I
it. I don't have
yeah.
conversations with anybody.
Yeah, I went to the store today.
Yeah.
Lovely young girl was the cashier.
Mhm.
I'm old enough to be her father. So, you know what? Except for thank you, I didn't
That's
say
it.
one word to her, and I
That's it.
never looked her directly in the face because I'm old enough to be this girl's father, and I don't. It's weird.
I had a call yesterday that I'm not gonna post because it was so bad.
Uh-huh.
The woman called for my father-in-law, who is no longer with us,
Mhm.
about his timeshare. And every time they call, I tell them, take our number off your phone list and don't call us again. Well, this lady decided to be very pushy and she started to repeat why she was calling. And I start getting mad and go, "Lady, did you not hear what I just said? Take our number off your list and stop calling us." And she starts going off again, and I'm getting very annoyed. And then I said, "Screw it. I'm just going to mess with her." And I started telling her, "You know what? Forget it. You can call me anytime. We can talk about anything you want. I mean, if you want to talk about your personal life, we'll talk about your personal life. You want to talk about your finances, let's talk about your finances." And I start really trying to creep her out, and
Yeah.
she played along
Oh my god.
to the point where I even asked her what she was wearing, and she started to tell me. And I'm like, "Oh my God." Avery, I couldn't get her off the phone.
It backfired.
It backfired horrifically, and she wouldn't get off the phone. We got to the point where we were talking about what we were doing for our weekend, and how she's going to call her parents, and she's going to do some cooking, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm really not wasting your time here." And she's like, "No, I'm okay." And I'm like, "Well, then let's keep talking." And it's like, oh my God, it.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's the kind of people I talk to. All right, let me go back to the chat because there's been stuff going on. Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to derail, but I really needed to tell Avery that story because I had told him the first part of it, but I didn't tell him the part about the fact that my daughter chimed in and told me I should behave myself. Let's see here. Rosie says to Nigel, "Being able to master language is a gift. I wish I had it. I studied French at uni, but that was years ago. Hugs." Tim's here. Tim says, good evening. Welcome, Tim. Welcome to the show. This is where I'm going to get in trouble. Rosie goes, "Oh no!" Still, at least she took it in a good stead. But yes, start with the story. I am utterly amazed that she did not walk away from the register and go get one of the guys she worked with and said, "Please go help this man."
Yeah.
I'm surprised she
I'm
didn't do that.
scared.
Had my wife not been there, I could easily see her like calling the cops. I wasn't trying to be that creepy, but my wife was like, "You do realize that was really, really inappropriate what you did." And I said, "What? What did I do? I was just asking."
Yet another reason I think you're borderline autistic, like high functioning,
We've had
because
that
you do
conversation
have
before.
problems with context and social cues.
Yes.
Like bad sometimes. I've said it before. It's not the first time.
I know. Rosie says, "Okay, this might help you feel better, Drew." Oh, she writes something here. "Years ago, hubby and I were at a video shop. Yep, VHS. Now that's funny. And I wandered over to him, put one hand through his arm, and said, 'What about this, honeys?' Meaning the video I'd picked up. Uh-oh, I know where this is going. It wasn't hubby. He looked terrified. Another lady appeared and literally dragged him out of the shop. Whoops." Can you imagine the yelling the poor man got? "Don't tell me you didn't know her. She seemed to know you."
Oh God.
I've done something very similar. I've walked up behind a woman one time and started talking to her and then realized it wasn't my wife. And luckily I didn't say anything
Forward.
I didn't say anything that would get me slapped, but I started talking like I knew the person, and they were creeped out in the fact they didn't know they had no clue who I was. I was like, "Oh, whoops, sorry, wrong person." That's a reason why I should not talk to people. You all understand what I'm saying. You followed my videos long enough to know in real life I should not talk to people.
You're only allowed to talk to scammers from now on.
That's right. Because I won't freak them out. I won't scare them.
And if you do, so what? It's a
True.
plus if you do.
Absolutely. I had a really weird one today, guys. It was a funeral expense scammer, which we get all the time. You guys have heard numerous of those calls on my channel, and they always follow the same script, where they ask you how old you are, and so forth, whether you're a smoker or whatnot. They usually ask you if you have a checking or savings account, and it's kind of one of their script things to know. They claim that's the only way you can pay for the insurance. They need to make sure you have those accounts in order to do it. I think that eventually they're going to try to find out what your checking and savings account is.
Yeah. Put you on direct deposit and empty your account.
Exactly. Well, this person didn't ask the question that way. The way they asked the question is, who do you bank with? What is the name of your bank?
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of taken aside by that because that's not the normal script. And I asked him, I said, what do you need the name of my bank for? And he goes, "Well, we need to make sure that you have a checking or savings account to pay." Then don't you usually ask if I have a checking or savings account? I mean, duh. And I don't know why they changed the script. And I'm not sure if it was him or if it's something new. But he later said, I said, "I'm not going to tell you who I bank with." He said, "Well, is it a bank or a credit union?" It's like, it's a credit union, but what does that matter? And it makes me wonder if they're planning on using that information for something else.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times when the scammers ask you questions, it's in order to
set you up
for a next one. Yes. See, when I've had the what is it? It's not the it's Social Security Administration one, where they're trying to tell you they're going to help you protect your accounts, and they ask you how many accounts you have and who with. And I always make up stuff. I say Bank of America, and I say there's a couple of the ones I just make up that I don't have accounts with. And I will get calls from Bank of America, Discover, and the ones that I claimed I had but have never had. And so I know they're connected. I know they're feeding information to them. Same thing with the funeral expense one or the Medicare one, where they ask you about what kind of, do you have any major illnesses like cancer or diabetes and all? I've said yes to the diabetes question before, and then gotten numerous calls from foreign people from spoof numbers talking to me about diabetes supplies and how to get cheap diabetes supplies. And it's only because I told them that I had diabetes. So normally when they ask nowadays, I just tell them, no, I don't have anything. I'm perfectly fit. I'm perfectly fine. But that's what they do. They take the information you give them, no matter how small you think it is, and they will try to use it against you in the future. It's a fact. They do it. So that's why I make so much crap up. Now the funny thing is, there is some truth to some of the stuff I do tell them. You know, I do have a Capital One card. That's my go-to card that I always tell them when they call about lowering my interest rate. I do have a Capital One card, so that's not true.
Your wallet?
Everybody has one of those, don't they?
A Capital One card?
Yeah.
No.
What about Bank of America? Discover. Don't you have one of those?
None of your business.
It's fine. It's perfectly fine. But everybody knows Bank of America, you know? I would just throw out, credit card companies or that I saw on TV recently. Whenever they ask, the other one they ask is who your cell phone provider is through. And I always tell them Verizon. I've never had Verizon before, but I've gotten call from Verizon calling about my account, which is funny because I don't have an account with them.
Yep, because they put it in their little system.
That's right.
This guy has Verizon.
Yep. They will use every little piece of information you give them, no matter how insignificant you think it is. They're going to use it. So never, ever, ever
tell them anything
that's true. That's right. Make stuff up, and when you make stuff up, continue. Now, with the credit card numbers, I always make up numbers on the fly. I've never used the same number. Oh God, Avery, this is so hilarious. The credit card one I got today, and I will make that into a video and share it with you all later. I have a tendency when I'm making up numbers, I write it down on a piece of paper so that when they ask me to repeat it, I have it ready to go, right? So he asked me for my credit card number. I wrote it down, and then I read it out to him. And then eventually, because that wasn't working, he said, do you have another card? I said, sure, I have my Discover card. He says, okay, what's that number? So I wrote down the number, and I gave it to him. And it wasn't till later did I look down at my piece of paper that I had written, and the last four numbers on my credit card and my Discover card were the same exact last four numbers. Isn't that ironically crazy? Yeah. I never realized that. My numbers were like almost exactly the same. And what's so funny is he kept putting me on mute because he was obviously new because he was talking to somebody. And I'm like talking into the phone, and he got very frustrated at some point because he came back and said, sir, just be calm. You don't have to, just be patient. And I'm like, I am being patient. I'm perfectly fine. You keep putting me on mute and I keep talking, And he was getting annoyed by it, which annoying a scammer, that's almost as much fun as hitting on a teenage girl at a cashier.
Oh!
No, I did not do that on purpose. I swear to God. It was just indirect action. Oh, so sad. Oh, Richard's here. Richard says, I want to call these numbers. The only problem is a lot of the calls that I get are local numbers, and they're definitely being spoofed. And the reason I know that for a fact, I have called some back in the past, and it's been, people who have no idea what the hell you're calling about, or it's somebody in another state. Usually if it's not a local number, I might try calling it back. If it's a local number, I don't want to mess with anybody local. So if it's an out-of-state number, I'll call it just to see what I get. And you wouldn't believe how many times I've gotten some little old lady in Arkansas or something who has no idea why I'm calling.
Yeah.
It's because they used her number or they called her number before and they're just using it. So, oh, wait a minute. Richard says, I have an invalid credit card that I use. I've got several. I pull them out of my ass. I've got several numbers that are invalid. I love using them.
I pull them out of my ass.
That's right. I make them up right there on the spot. But yeah, the call, it lasted 25 minutes, but there's probably maybe 15 minutes of actual call because he kept putting me on mute. And I knew he was new because he kept putting me on mute so often because he was talking to somebody. He was getting, because at one point I talked to somebody different and then it went back to the original guy. So I know he was like with somebody trying to help him do it. But he stayed on and I screwed with him for a very long time and had a lot of fun doing it. So we'll make that into a call eventually. Actually, that might be the second video I release tomorrow because I'm going to release 2 videos tomorrow because my video today did not go up. I had system problems, uploading problems with YouTube. So, no, well, okay, so hold on a second. I got to take a drink here. My throat's getting really dry. Oh, I'm so bad. I'm drinking soda in the middle of the night.
Oh my God, you're such a bad boy.
Well, the wife's not here, so I got to go get Chinese for dinner tonight. I had sesame chicken and oh yeah. Normally she cooks and makes dinner and we've been doing a lot of salads lately. Which obviously is healthy for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a big fat tub of But,
so am I.
But she makes some wonderful salads, and she puts strawberries in it, which I like. She puts boiled eggs, chops up boiled egg, and sometimes she'll put in nuts, which I'm not a fan of, and dried fruit, which I'm cool with that. But every now and then she'll try to slip in like some onion, and she knows I hate raw onion. But she'll slide it in there. And she always says the same thing when I find it. She goes, oh, that was supposed to be in my salad. But I eat it. I eat it and I love it. And I appreciate it. She's a wonderful woman and she takes good care of me. But she's gone this weekend. I'm not smiling because she's gone. I mean, she took all my money with her. She took all my money with her, so I mean, I'm happy that she. Originally, it was supposed to be a group of them, but everybody else canceled except for her and my daughter. So it's just the 2 of them. They're having a mother-daughter weekend, and I gave them money so that they were talking about getting a what is it? A mani-pedi. It's something with nails, but they're going to get a mani-pedi done tomorrow, and I gave them money for that, and I told them, hey, have fun, have a good time, and just drive safely. That's all I ask. But there's some bridesmaid convention or something down there, and that's what they're going to. So
I don't know.
Yeah, I've never been to one. I never want to go to one.
Sounds awful.
I will be very happy when my daughter is married, and I never have to hear the words bridal convention or bridal show again. Dude, you have no idea. Those are some of the dad, I'm engaged is probably the scariest phrase for a dad to hear. Honestly, when it happened, it was Christmas Day, and it was at my parents' house. The whole family was there, and Raphael got down on his hands and knees. No, it was on one knee. What was the expression? Hands and not on one knee. But it's not, your hands aren't involved, are they?
No, it's down on one knee.
Down on one knee. Okay, so he got down on one knee.
Jesus Christ.
And now, Raphael's a really tall guy, and my daughter, she's not that tall. So even when he's down on one knee, he's pretty much still as tall as she is. But he pulled out the ring, and I guess nobody knew that it was happening. So everybody was like, oh my gosh, look what's happening. It was like,
oh my God.
And I'm standing there and I'm like, okay. And to be honest with you, the very first thought that went through my head was, wait a minute. Wasn't I supposed to be involved in this at some point prior to this part?
Wasn't he supposed to ask your permission?
And supposedly he did, and I gave it, and I was okay with it. And I mean, I wouldn't have been not for it, but I don't remember it happening. But he says, and she said they had the conversation with me, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. But my first thought was, wait a minute, don't, aren't I supposed to be involved in this prior to this? But apparently I had, and I forgot about it.
That's believable.
That is believable. It's absolutely believable. So, needless to say, it was a beautiful day, and it happened on Christmas Day, so it was a beautiful thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Luckily, they're not getting married for another, God, almost 2 years. Well, it's less than 2 years now, but it's not till 2024. So, yeah, plenty of time to save money. Yeah, I know. Oh, Clark's here. Clark says, "What's up, Drew? Welcome to the show, Clark. Appreciate you being here, my friend." Rosie says, "Ooh, raw onion on Scottish cheddar, perfect sandwich. Yum." That sounds disturbing. I'm not a big raw onion fan. I will eat cooked onions. My wife recently made chili, and she chopped up like 2 whole onions and threw it in there with the ground beef and all, and sauteed it with the beef, and it's perfectly fine. I have no problem with that. But raw onions,
really? I eat chili dogs with onions and coleslaw.
I think my grandfather used to eat raw onions like an apple. And I'm like, oh, I can't.
That's usually something country people do.
Oh yes, that's definitely a country thing.
Listen, I've eaten onion and mayonnaise sandwiches because that's really all we had to eat.
You can keep that crap up there in Georgia. I don't want none of that stuff. That sounds gross.
That was
mayonnaise. That was in Florida. Oh, geez.
Yeah. It's a southern. It's a poor white trash thing.
Oh, okay.
When you're poor as shit and all you have is like an onion and a little bit of bread, that's what you eat.
I'd probably just die. I'd eat the bread. That's about it.
I like tomato sandwiches.
Actually, I like tomatoes. I especially like tomatoes on pizza. Where you do diced tomatoes on pizza.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's good stuff. When the tomato like pops in your mouth because it's so fresh. Oh, that's great. But you know what I don't like? Tomato soup. I cannot stand tomato soup. I refuse. I won't. If
tomato bisque, tomato bisque is a soup, but that's even better.
Anything that has bisque in it kind of scares me. My wife likes what's the one that Red Lobster does? Is it lobster bisque? Yeah, lobster bisque. Yeah, there you go. Red Lobster. Yeah, she likes that. Yeah.
It's probably decent.
It probably is, but yeah. Anyway, let's see what else is going on. Manuel laughs, most likely laughing at me, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Bill's here. Hey, Bill, how's it going? He says hello. Bill says, not low, hello. Yes, I gotcha. And Rosie says hi to Bill. All right, perfect. So how's your weekend going so far?
It's all right.
Yeah? Okay. I so want to draw. I want to draw so bad, but I'm so tired. My eyes are killing me. To the point where I don't think if I started a drawing, it would work out very well for me right now. But I really, 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 really want to draw. Well, it's one of the bad parts about being an artist is having the desire and not either the ability or the time.
Yeah.
You know?
I've pretty much finished that one I was doing by combining those different AI pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much done. I've just been like kind of noodling it.
Oh, Manuel, you're breaking my heart. He says, I put mayonnaise and rice and eat onions and salad. Mayonnaise. I see out of that whole thing, I could do the salad and I could do the rice. Everything else, gross. Rosie says, sliced tomato and Scottish cheddar in a sandwich. Lovely. It's not raw onion nice, but still yum. I would take a sliced tomato and Scottish cheddar over anything that has onion in it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But the tomato sandwiches I eat, it's just salt, pepper, mayonnaise, and sliced tomato.
Bill asks, do you have a website with your drawings? Actually, you know what?
You do.
I do. I haven't been there in a while, and it hasn't been updated in a while, but hold on a second. Misfit Corner. .com. Yeah, let me go there real quick. And oh my goodness, here, let me share with you my website. Oh, settings is not. It's present. Share screen. Misfit Corner Comics. Looky there. It's a picture of me and my sister and my brother-in-law. This is my website for Misfit Corner Comics.
Yay.
Yeah. And here's the funny thing. I put this picture up, and I will tell you, I did it. I put this picture up before I sent our application for the New York Comic Con because I was listing my brother-in-law as an employee. So I put meet the crew of Misfit Corner Comics in the front row, and store manager Andrew Charper on the right, employee of the month, 36 months running, Tracy, and in the back, assistant store manager Ray, not shown, co-owner Michael, which is my son.
Yeah.
Ray hasn't worked a day in his life in my store.
So it doesn't matter. A lot of family businesses do shit like that.
There's nobody that knows who he is. But every time I go out of town and go to a convention, I usually have him with me. So he's here to help me with that.
Exactly.
But yeah. And if you scroll down, let me see what else we got there. There's a really, really old video showing off the store. There's a location of how to find it. There's a link to the YouTube channel. Actually, you know what I just realized? Oh, crap. Is the link to the YouTube channel to the Scam channel?
Yes, because the comics channel became the Scam channel once you took all the other
No. Nope. I just clicked it, and it does go to the comics channel.
Okay.
So I must have at some point
updated. You must have updated it at some point.
I did it. I must have.
You must have.
And you scroll down, it's got pictures of the store, and there's some pictures of the first book. This is from the 2016. Yeah, it's old.
Great coloring job, whoever colored that.
That's a fantastic. Can I click on it? Does it tell me?
Who is the genius who colored your work for you?
Oh my goodness! I just realized it only says written and illustrated by me and Michael. It doesn't say who colored it.
I know.
I'm gonna have to fix that. Just so you all know, Avery is my colorist. He did a fantastic job on those covers. But there is if you scroll down, there on the side, it says home, characters, creators, hero gallery, the first hero collection, a link to at the very bottom, it says online portfolio. And if you click that, it should take you to this page, which shows you a bunch of pages from the book. This is all my art. So when I say this is the artist known as Andrew, I actually do art from time to time. I do art.
You do.
But you guys can check it out there. These are the covers to the first two books, book 1 and book 2. And then there's some splash page illustrations from the book, some double page spreads. And as you go down, you can see all the different art. This is book 1 and book 2. What else is in here? Yeah, that's all book 2. That's book 2. Oh, there's a couple pages from book 3, which hasn't been published yet. These last 3 are from book 3, and I got so much more done. I've really got to update this damn thing. Yep. I got some really nice crom pages I should put in here.
Yeah.
But I think I set up the online portfolio. I had to have a portfolio, a web portfolio for something I was applying for.
Mm-hmm.
So I just set it up on the page. But yeah. If you guys want to go check it out, it's here. What I'll do is
the portfolio link should be up there with the rest of the stuff instead of being way down on its own.
Yeah, I think I did that because I wasn't like advertising it or anything. But here I am going to paste the link to the site. Right there in the thing, so you guys can go check it. You guys have been following along with me on the Misfit Corner Scams channel. Pretty much, I started dedicating this channel to the scams back in January of this year. It's been every day a scam. This is the first time I've mentioned I had a website. This is how bad I am.
Yeah.
This is how truly horrible I am about promoting myself.
Yeah. But everything used to be on this channel. The comics, the
Yes.
art, and the scams. It was all on here.
Yeah. Well, we've dedicated this channel just to the scams, but I do have other. I am a multi-faceted person. I do have other parts of myself that I can talk about. Oh, I got to show you guys this. So I showed it to the guys yesterday. I'm going to focus on me just real quick. So I've mentioned my sister and how fabulous, fantastic she is. Oh, matter of fact, today's her birthday.
All right.
I forgot about that. I did wish her happy birthday this morning, but I've mentioned how wonderful she is. You guys see my shirts, Misfit Corner Scams, and my hat, Misfit Corner Scams. I actually have a Misfit Corner Comics hat. It's for when I'm working in the comic store. I have, this one's from my daughter. It says Misfit Corner Comics, and it's a Jaguar hat. This is what I call my Sunday hat. I wear it on Sundays during Jag games. And then, of course, I have the regular black hat, which I tell my wife is for church and date night. She did not think that was funny. But I thought it was hilarious. And so I have hats for every day of the week and for very specific things. So okay, let's see what's going on here. Bill asked about the website, which we did. Manuel says, I like Chinese food, special sesame chicken. I had sesame chicken this evening. It was fantastic. My favorite is bourbon chicken. That's the one I like because it comes with the bourbon dipping sauce. The sesame chicken is. Oh,
my favorite's the General Tso's.
That's because you're weird.
It's because it's spicy.
Bill says I'll look it up. I put the link in, so go ahead and check it out. Rosie says those are really good, Drew. Well, thank you very much. And the really sad part about all those images that I shared, they're from 2016 through probably 2020. There's not a lot of current stuff. I just haven't put anything new up there in a while, so I probably need to go through it and add some additional stuff. But
you should.
Yep. Tim's here. Tim says I always loved raw potatoes when I was a child. Raided the garden as the potatoes were ready to dig. I would just rub the worst of the dirt off, then eat them. Put salt on and eat them. I would carry a salt shaker. Really?
I've known people that would
now
eat potatoes.
I've done that. I've eaten directly from the garden for blueberries, strawberries, and apples. But I don't think I've ever eaten a vegetable straight from the garden. Trying to think if I ever have. I know my grandmother had carrots, and I thought those were freaking fantastic because you pulled them up and they were all like twisted and all. They weren't just straight carrots; they were all twisted and crazy shaped. But I don't think I've ever eaten them directly out of the ground, out of the garden.
I'd want to wash them first.
Well, he knocked the dirt off. I mean, come on.
Yeah, extra minerals.
Yeah, it's right. Hey, Betty, how's it going? Betty's here. Says hello, Andrew and everyone. Welcome to the show. Let's see here. Ben says, I love young chow fried rice and spring rolls. Okay. My favorite, Mandarin chicken. No, bourbon chicken and teriyaki chicken. Those are my two favorites. But I hate to say it. Do you know what's one of the side items I like the best at my Chinese restaurant?
What's that?
French fries. I know. That's... Put some ketchup on them, a little bit of salt. Oh my God, they're delicious. But yeah. But tonight it was sesame chicken and lo mein. And I also, even though I knew my wife wasn't with me, I ordered steamed dumplings as well, but usually that's hers. So I have steamed dumplings left over for later.
Oh,
yeah. Ben says, occasionally I do eat an entirety of a basket of a baked potato. Okay. See, no, it's French fries. And French fries anyway, curly fries, potato fries, just fried
tater tots,
hash browns, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not a big baked potato fan. And I definitely don't like sweet potatoes. I'll eat one if you force me to. But
Dude,
my dad, when he makes for Thanksgiving, you know how the Thanksgiving baked potatoes are a staple. Well,
for some people.
he does sweet potatoes, and then he'll make like 2 or 3 baked potatoes because he knows me and my mom don't
Mhm.
like the sweet potatoes.
Yeah, I don't care for
So
sweet potatoes either.
my wife loves them, especially when they're cooked and they're so soft. They're like you push it together and it just explodes out. She loves that. I don't know
You don't like baked potatoes, even like with like sour cream and chili and
why. Ooh, no, butter and that's it. Butter and that's it.
dude,
No, no.
dude, man, they're so good. You cover them in chili and cheese and sour cream and chives. Oh my god.
You can do that with French fries.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
do that with
Either
baked
way, it's good.
potatoes.
Either or. I'm not turning down either one.
Oh, did I tell you that when I went to Atlanta that one time, Jason turned me onto a restaurant where one of their specialties was French fries that had cheese and pulled pork on it. And there
Ooh,
was some other stuff in there, but those are the two main things. Oh my
yeah,
God, that was to die for.
yeah. That sounds
And
good.
I honestly don't know any place around here that serves those. So I don't
Yeah.
know if it's an Atlanta thing or not.
Probably it's
Oh,
other
it was so
places
good.
do it too.
Oh
But
yeah, oh yeah, I'm
like
sure.
if you ever go more north in Georgia to where like if you have to go about an hour and a half from here north further north where you start seeing Del Taco because Del Taco isn't this far
Yes,
south.
yes.
They have nacho fries.
Hey, Betty speaks the gospel truth here. Sweet potatoes are a scam.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
You know, I don't. You know what I don't like? I don't like yams.
Me
But
neither.
my wife makes a sweet potato souffle. Oh my freaking god, it's delicious.
Yeah.
But I think that has a lot to do with the brown sugar
Hmm.
and the marshmallows that get added to it. It's more like a dessert than it is a meal, even though it's supposed to be like a meal.
Yeah.
Whenever we have Thanksgiving and she makes it, it's always a fan favorite in the family. But it's actually more like a dessert than anything else. So, all right, hold on a second. Let me go back up. I missed a bunch of chats, so let me catch up here. Rosie says we have a football team here called Patrick Thistle FC Football Club, who are known as the Jags too. Oh, really? Hey, the Jags play in England,
Hmm.
and they have for several years. And actually, there's a game coming up where they play in England.
Hmm.
And from what I'm told, they do have fans there.
Hmm.
So,
But
hey,
what do they call American football when they are there? Because they call what we call soccer football.
no, I'm assuming they just call it American football.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, Rosie can tell us what do you guys call football? American football there. Betty says a smiley face. Rosie says hi to Betty. Bill says, I stopped buying organic products when I found worms and bugs crawling around in them. Ugh.
That's going to happen.
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah. Manuel says, I have fried rice and spring rolls are delicious.
Yeah.
I can do fried rice, but I try not to do a lot of rice. But I'm not a big spring roll fan. Matter of fact, whenever I go to the Chinese restaurant, they used to not put my egg roll in the bag because they knew I didn't like it. But now they go ahead and just put it in there because I give it to my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
a
the egg.
treat for her.
I
It's a
like
treat
egg
for
rolls.
her.
I like
Yeah,
egg rolls more than I like spring rolls.
yeah.
And
Oh, there's a
lumpia.
difference.
Yes, there is a difference between spring rolls and
Oh,
egg
I had
rolls.
no idea.
Yeah. And lumpia is pretty good too.
Gotcha. I've heard of that before. Isn't that a Filipino thing?
Hmm.
My brother-in-law's mother makes that for meals. So. Tim says tomatoes are always the best. I love the tomatoes. There's that certain type of pizza. It's like the white cheese
Hmm.
pizza with tomato. Oh, that just if it's made right, you bite into that and the tomatoes like burst in your mouth. Oh, that's oh delicious.
Yeah, oh, you mean like the Alfredo sauce type? Like,
Yes, exactly, exactly. I know there's a particular. It's called something, but
mhm,
it usually has those chunks of tomatoes that just oh,
gotcha.
good stuff, good stuff. Betty says hi to Rosie. Um, Rosie says, "You too, Betty." See, they're having that. They're it's another one of those coded things between them. between people. They come on my channel and they send coded messages.
Code.
Yeah. You know what's going to happen? Somebody somewhere is going to get assassinated.
The FBI is gonna read your chat.
Oh, jeez. Isn't that horrible, the thought of that?
If the FBI ever comes at you for something, it's going to be because you know me. Don't worry about your chat.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Betty says, I don't like sweet potatoes either. Yep, this is before she said the sweet potatoes are a scam. Rosie says to Emmanuel, I love vegetable spring rolls. They're fabulous. Okay, I'll have to take your guys' word for it. I stay away from that stuff. So, yep. Okay. Bill says, I love baby sauteed squid with soy sauce. Ew. Sauteed squid?
The only way I go for squid is fried. Now, if it's fried, I like fried.
I've had fried. Not a big fan of the raw stuff. So,
well, it's not
sauteed. Sauteed's not raw. I know.
Still,
I understand, but yeah.
Manuel
says, I love vegetables. Mom cooking soup and rice.
Nice.
Gotcha. Betty says, I like sweet red beer. Another scam. She says it's like sweet red
beer.
Bean. Ben.
What?
Rosie says Rosie says we call it American football.
Gotcha.
And Betty agreed. Yes, American football. She says I still call soccer football and football American football. Okay.
Gotcha.
Well, see, here in the United States, we don't know what soccer is, so we don't refer to it as anything. That's so bad. I'm sorry. Actually, Jacksonville, don't we have a soccer team?
I don't know.
We did at one point.
Some kind of.
I don't know if we still have it or not. Why
there was a soccer team. Yeah.
The Imperials or the Emperors or something like that. Does that sound familiar? No, yeah. I have no idea. We had a hockey team too. Hell, we might still have a hockey team. I have no idea.
Hockey, I would have gone to if someone gave me tickets.
I've been to one hockey game here in Jacksonville, and just to tell you how long ago it was, I was with Gerald.
Yeah.
That's how long ago it was.
Like, so. I'm not a sports fan.
Yeah.
But if someone gives me tickets, I will go to a game and enjoy myself.
Okay.
Like, Jags, Suns games, the baseball games.
Yep.
Yep. I would go to a Suns. If someone like gave me a ticket, you want somebody to go to the game with you, I'll go.
I haven't.
And I'll have a good time.
I haven't been to a baseball game in years because I find them extremely boring.
Yeah.
At least football has its moments of excitement where
I know more about baseball because I used to be a big Braves fan.
Yeah. I played baseball in elementary school, not in high school, but yeah. Rosie says, no veggies get cooked or eaten unless I've washed them and within an inch of its life, like warm water and white vinegar.
Yeah.
Fear the bugs and bacteria. Isn't the bugs protein? And then, I'm just kidding.
Eat the bugs. Oh, the New World Order is going to love you.
Betty says, the most delicious vegetables for me is avocado. Really? I've never been a big avocado fan. Vegetable wise, I can do carrots and I can do potatoes.
You know what?
I'm a meat and potato guy. Hardcore.
I like guacamole and I do like avocado on some sandwiches.
You're
on a club sandwich, it's pretty good.
You're gross. Go away,
dude. It can be pretty good, man.
Rosie says, laugh out loud. It's not code, Drew. It's hugs. Okay. I'm sure that's code for something as well. That's a secret code right
hugs,
there.
Not drugs.
Oh, Betty smiles. See, Betty knows. Betty knows there was I don't know. Do you remember reading Hearts in Atlantis by Stephen King?
I have read it and I've seen the movie. I have the book somewhere.
There's a sequence in it in which one of the main characters sees a missing dog sign, and you see those type of things all
Yeah.
over the place. And he tells you that that's a secret code that the guys are communicating to each other through those
they're looking for
messages.
him.
And they use those signs as ways of informing.
Did you read The Dark Tower?
I read one of the books, or no, I listened. I think the first 2 books I did on audio.
Well, he pops back up.
Oh, really?
Okay. And one of the later,
But I always think about
that story that story, Hearts in Atlantis, is one of the stories that connects to The Dark Tower.
Yeah. Well, see, I always think of the fact that there can be secret codes everywhere, and you just don't realize it. It's all a matter of, if I know the code and you know the code, it could be anything. So having a conversation between on a live stream chat in which you say hugs and virtual hugs and so forth, that's actually code for something like buy Tesla stock now, because something's going to happen.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. Let me get back to this chat again. We're quickly derailing the conversation.
Yeah.
So, Rosie says, Betty, do you know I've tried guacamole. Must try them. I think I'm the last person on earth. I don't avocado, not guacamole. I was thinking guacamole.
Guacamole's made with avocado.
Yes. Nigel says, me too, avocado. You people are crazy. I used to, my parents tell me, and I don't remember this, but I'm absolutely sure everything they tell me is God's honest truth. When I was a kid, I refused to eat anything that was green. Lettuce, green beans, lima beans.
That sounds possible green. Because a lot of kids go through kind of some kind of like super weird picky phase. Like, I had some cousins that they had this long phase where they wouldn't eat almost anything but like French fries.
It was mac and cheese for me. You put mac and cheese in front of me, I was down for it.
Yeah.
And my parents, they used to trick me. When we lived in Italy for a while. Matter of fact, that's where my sister was born. My dad was stationed in Italy, and my parents had a friend whose name was Tito. And anytime he would come over for dinner, he would always bring rice. And for some reason, I really liked his rice. And whenever my mom would make rice, I always asked the same question: is this Tito rice? And she would tell me yes. No matter what brand name it was, she would lie to me in order to convince me to eat the rice. Yeah. And for the longest time, I thought all white rice was Tito rice. And I always remembered it. This is going all the way into high school. I remember Tito rice. And I asked my mom one time, I said, Mom, what exactly is Tito rice? And she just bawled out laughing because she knew they had me so freaking convinced. In order to eat the rice, it had to be Tito rice.
Yeah.
And that was the name of the guy. I think his last name was Tito or something. I mean, I don't remember him at all, but I remember always asking, is this Tito rice? Tito rice. My parents would just say, yes, of course. We'd go to like Ryan's and I'd say, Mom, is this Tito rice? Yes, of course it is.
It's Tito rice, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You should eat that.
My parents were evil. This is another thing. This is another thing I'm listing on my grievances at my mother's eulogy.
It's the kind of thing you have to tell any small child to pacify them and get them to do what you want them to do.
Yeah. Manuel says you have soccer teams in Florida. We do.
Yeah.
I have no idea. So. Yeah. Bill says I'm handing over the rest of my own cooking chicken drumsticks I bought last night. Oh, okay. Drumsticks are good. Betty says to Rosie, a good avocado is like heaven and earth to me, but it's very difficult to find it when they're right there. It's the right time. They can't be green or brown, but just ripe. I'll take your word. If I've ever bought an avocado, I had no idea what I was looking for. I just went to the stack and grabbed one.
Yeah. You have to know how to pick them out.
Manuel says next month is the World Cup in the U.S., the USA versus England. Okay. And he also says he likes avocado too, or he loves avocado. So,
yeah.
All right. Good deal. Rosie says in UK, baseball is pretty much rounders. and we all play it in school. It sucks getting stuck out in the midfield waiting for something to happen, a ball, somebody to run past, something. See, that's why when I was playing baseball, my last 2 years of playing baseball, I was a catcher, and I loved being a catcher because you got to catch. You got to shut up, shut up, shut up. Don't say
Phrasing.
another word. I know. I used to love catching the ball and having the ball in my hand, and that was always fun. Shut up, shut up, shut up.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, but you were thinking it, weren't you?
Yeah, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, I know. Shut up. Nigel says guacamole's delicious. Okay.
It is.
Betty says to Manuel, Robella, yes, a stadium was always approved too.
Was also.
Oh, well, she says yes, a stadium was also approved too. Gotcha. Sorry, I was reading his last name as part of the sentence. Starbright here says he hacked it into my phone, but I fixed it. Okay. Betty says hi to Nigella. Tim says my dad would boil okra. Ooh, that's another one I don't like.
I love okra.
It looks like slime. Always made me sick just watching him eat it. Ugh.
I like tomatoes and okra, fried okra. You can bake it. You have to bake it for like an hour if you bake it.
Yeah.
You got to chop it up like it's going to be fried and then bake it. You got to bake it till it's like little crunchies.
Yeah. Nigella says hi to Betty. Richard says when I call these numbers that the scammers call me on, it doesn't go through. Yep. Yeah, that's they also use numbers they know aren't valid. So or they'll actually use a valid number, but for a completely different thing. There was a call I got recently. It was, I want to say it was one of the funeral expense ones, but when I called it back, it was it was the reverse mortgage one. I actually have the video where it was a reverse mortgage, and when I called the number back, it went to a Medicare helpline. Two things have nothing to do with each other, you know? Rosie says the absolute worst thing to eat has to be tripe. Has to be. I don't think I've ever had tripe. Yeah. Betty says the difference between guacamole and avocado is that one is super good for your health and the other one can kill you.
Especially the guacamole on the shelf, because like most of the guacamoles that you buy pre-made, it's mostly sour cream.
Nigella says Bush Sr. hated broccoli. I love broccoli. Broccoli is one of my favorite vegetables.
Broccoli's pretty good.
Richard says they would call from the same area code, and when I called back the number, it either goes to another person or would not work. Yep. Nigella says Richard's right. We think someone in my neighborhood. Oh, okay. Is someone in your neighborhood? That's horrible. Betty says usually scammers use spoof numbers, but this week I had gotten through to a number that had called back. Very strange. Betty sends a picture of a baseball. And then Star says, I love watching you guys go after scammers. Well, thank you. We enjoy. Well, two different types of scam baiting. One in which they call scammers and screw with them, and one in which you get calls and screw with them. I'm the latter. I'm the one where they call me and I screw with them. So Betty is one of the ones that goes after them. God bless you, lady. God bless you. Go get them. On that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I appreciate everybody who came in tonight. I hope you had fun, as much fun as we did. And as always, stay safe. Have a good rest of your weekend. If you get calls like the ones we described, either hang up on them or screw with them like I do. It's always fun. Hope you all enjoyed. Oh, Rosie threw one more in. Hold on a second. Rosie says, oh, Drew, stay away from tripe. It's the smell. It can clear a building. Tripe is the lining of the cow stomach, usually boiled. OMG. Oh, goodness. Ooh. And then Star says, how call flutter? Well, that's what the guys who call the call centers are called, call flutters, where they call and call and call and call. Mm-hmm. They tend to call me all the time too. And Betty says, I'm just having fun. That's right. That's all we're doing. All right, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend. Have a fantastic week. Look forward to 2 videos tomorrow. because the one did not go up today, but hopefully it appears all the kinks have been worked out. And once again, appreciate y'all coming in. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right.